Welcome to Mystere Creations. Hosting today is my wife Sarah and myself AJ. We are joined by our friends Jason Andrews, Matthew Baird, and Adam Towla. This episode is a fun discussion of weird occurrences, life situations, and fun questions. Please join us for some Halloween fun. Hopefully we get to Kentucky next year.
We are.
Ooh.
I can afford it. It's Kentucky. It's the gas, airfare, and that's expensive. The hotels are like $50 a night, and they're like 4 stars. So
you should pick me up on the way. Am I on the
way?
All right. All right.
Well,
We'll fly down to you and then fly across.
$50 in Kentucky money goes a long way.
It does.
Oh, does it?
Why do you think I go there all the time? It's not
Is
just to see
Matthew really here? Is Matthew here?
I'm in
Yeah,
the dark.
Matthew's here.
Oh, see, I knew it. That's awesome. Hey there, sir.
Hello.
I was just looking at Crocs and thinking of you. Having nightmares.
Crocmares.
Yeah, croc mares.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
now you know that has to go in my cross stitch booklet, right?
You know,
Oh, man.
who knows? Maybe one day I'll buy some and I may just love them to death, and I'll just be so excited. I doubt it.
When you do, you have to do a photo shoot for us.
Oh, it's
Now
gonna
that-
be a whole video. It'll be a whole
Yes.
thing.
That I'll get behind.
Yeah.
For any style,
Do you-
Adam. For
Do you
any
have
style.
Crocs? Jason, oh yeah, that's true. Jason, do you have Crocs?
Not once in my entire life.
I take you
I'm
for
a grown ass man,
Hey,
and I
Listen, if I go to Disneyland, I will look for the Haunted Mansion ones, and I may buy them because if it's comfortable, I hate
They-
walking.
when you are at the park, that's the only thing I would recommend. I'll tell you though, I actually, because my family wanted me to stop wearing the Crocs, actually got me some Hey Dudes, and they're really cool too.
Hey,
So-
dudes,
They're called
Yeah.
Hey Dudes.
I'll get
like the
behind
show on
those.
Nickelodeon.
No, it's more of a, I don't know how you would describe it.
I'm googling it.
Okay, so they're like Crocs if they were for people.
Oh, that's terrible.
If we disappear for a moment, it's because I unplugged something I shouldn't.
Oh, that's the story of my life.
Yeah, it's Adam.
That's me. Oh, those are not too bad. I'd wear those. Those look like boating shoes, like shoes
Right.
you would wear at the lake.
They're really comfy as well.
I can get behind those.
I have a knockoff pair of those. They're called Maui Island or something like that.
Oh,
And they are pretty comfortable.
sounds fancy.
But
No,
most
it-
of the time, you guys want to see what I wear most of the time? Like
Yeah, I wanna see.
98%. I bought these and one sandals at Walmart for $8 about 4 years ago. And I still have miles to go on this tread, baby. Look at that.
Oh wow.
That's literally what I'm wearing, except for their Adidas ones. But they are like,
No.
they literally give me an inch and a half of height, and
Look
I'm
at
all
that
for
one.
that. You
Look
don't
at
need
that
any more
weather
height.
cracking right there. Come on.
No.
These babies were the best investment, and probably next year I'll have to get another pair.
They're very comfortable. I've never owned slides before, and I can't go back now. But that's the
It's-
farthest I'm gonna get to like Crocs, I think. So
I wear them until there's like knee-high snow, and then I'll put boots on.
oh, I wear flip flops in the snow out here. Absolutely. Still, I don't care. I'm Polynesian. I
I
don't
would
wear
die.
Well, you guys don't get a lot of snow. Like it's not more than a few feet, right, Adam?
Lately because of, I don't know, people say there's no such thing as, climate change, but we've been getting a shit ton of snow the past 2 years and really big storms. And I work graveyards, and I've noticed like every night this past winter when I'd go to work is when a storm would hit. So we'd get like 4 a week.
Oh,
pretty
wow.
much. And it would only be on the days I worked. And it would be, it'd be like we'd get a foot, sometimes two, if, no more than that. But to me, that's more than I want to deal with.
Oh, yeah. 1 foot of snow shuts down Victoria because
they sold all the
we had a
snowplow.
liberal mayor who decided we didn't need snowplows. So when the snow falls, there's nothing to remove the snow.
What was he going to get? Was he going to use magic or to get the snow to go?
No, we just shut down the city and everyone has a snow day.
I kind of like that too.
I kind of like that too.
Utah does not shut down for anything. We don't shut down for anything here. Trust me, I've tried when I was in college. It didn't work. I still had to go to class every day. They don't care out here. They make you come to work. If there's 3 feet of snow, you have to figure it out.
Don't you guys shut down for that Mormon 4th of July thing that you have?
But yes, we do shut down for the Mormon 4th of July, which is the 24th of July, known as Pioneer Day.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They did shut that shit down for that. So,
Not for snow.
Not for snow.
For space underwear. We'll
the
shut
pioneers. Yes. Did you call them space underwear?
it down. Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call them that. That's pretty good.
It's so perfect.
Oh,
I just called them Jesus jammies my whole life.
I like that better.
that's great.
Yes.
That is great.
Now, in Nova Scotia, White One, we got 9 feet of snow in one night.
What?
Literally,
When?
we literally had to shovel snow all night or suffocate in the house.
This happened when?
2001, 2002.
Oh, but it's not a normal thing.
No.
It's
crazy.
about to become a normal thing, though, because the hurricanes in the Atlantic are getting worse every year.
Oh, yeah, they are. Because this last one that happened, I've always somehow found myself in Florida during a hurricane for like the past 5 years. I've been in the middle of every hurricane that's come, and they were bad, but this one was bad this year.
Yeah.
I was still able to go see Mickey Mouse and stuff because they didn't close it down. But yeah, it was real bad in Orlando this year. A lot of people lost everything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everywhere over there. So it's crazy.
It's been a roller coaster shit year.
No more talking
Oh my
about bad
God.
weather, though. We've had enough.
Oh, the other thing I learned, okay, this is my last weather thing, but I learned that Salt Lake City is you probably don't know what the city of St. George is, but that's where we all go for the winter when it's cold to go to the desert. And they get their temperatures are 20 degrees hotter than ours usually all throughout the year. But they're saying now Salt Lake is going to be the temperature of St. George in the next 5 to 10 years. And so we're going to no longer have any sort of cool weather. We're going to have to go up in the mountains if we want to have the weather we have now. So it's all going to be gone. So yippee skippy.
Yay, climate change.
Meanwhile, we're sitting here at 19 degrees, which is 68,
It's
70.
hot. It's 80s in the afternoon and then 70s at night.
Right. So
That sounds pretty good to me. We're still 80 degrees right now here, right now. So I would
54 here right now. I imagine Matthew is about 50. And so is
oh,
the
that
temperature.
sounds delightful.
Yeah, it's been getting down to low 40s at night. It's been nice.
I like that a lot. I like to open the window and stuff. So
Yeah.
And not run the furnace. It's been pretty great.
do you guys have good colors over where you are for the fall? Because my whole mountain next to my house is just on fire. It looks amazing. I gotta go look at it this weekend.
weirdly,
We don't have it here yet.
none of us here.
Yeah, no, we're starting to turn.
Yeah, we're just starting to see the fall color.
The thing with Utah is our fall peaks this weekend, and then it's all gone after this weekend. So this is the last few days you
Bummer.
can see the fall colors. Utah's so dumb. Like our fall lasts 1 week, and that's it. I don't get it. That's why I love the East Coast.
Summer, fall, winter?
Winter. It'll be winter in about a month. Yep. Yep. That's it. Can't wait.
Oh, go ahead, Adam.
Oh no, I'm done.
In the book I'm reading, it's mostly about East Tennessee folk magic. There was different. Let's see. I think I've got it written down. I couldn't figure out what month it was because he wouldn't say. But they have Blackberry Winter, Ghost Phantom Winter, High Summer, Dog Days, and that was all I could get.
And this is in Tennessee?
So is this Jake's book?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so.
Man, I need to read books, you guys. I feel really dumb right now.
You'll have to learn how to read first, Adam.
You know what, you bitch? I'll have you know, I was quite a studious reader when I was a child. And I was in AP English all throughout high school. But something happened. I think it was the drinking. And I just stopped reading. And now I'm old. But speaking of Tennessee, one of my YouTube friends just sent me this postcard from Tennessee today. Can you see that? Chattanooga.
Nice.
So fun, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's all the video you get.
You want to know something kind of weird, Adam?
What?
I had a delivery from Utah today.
Ooh, stickers?
Yeah, some
Wait, who made that for you?
Stickers.
It wasn't Dave, was it?
I don't know, Dave.
Alien Dave? Have you heard of him?
Oh, no. You told me about him. No, some company, custom stickers or something like that.
Those are nice. I don't have any stickers. Apparently, because I went and met a bunch of YouTubers the last week or so in San Diego, and I guess stickers, is that a thing? Like, I guess it's a thing. And I need to have stickers. So
it's because it's cheap merch to make, and it's easy, and then the people put it on their water bottles or their bike.
And then you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I'll make a sticker because I feel like I'm just not up with the times with these kids. I don't know.
You're really handy at graphic design. You could probably do it yourself and send it to a printing company for pretty cheap.
Oh yeah, I've always done that. I went to school for graphic design, so I just haven't done it in a good 5 years because I got burnt out from it. But I could definitely make some stickers. I guess.
Just to give you an idea, these are about 3 inches.
Ooh.
So, and this hollow foil is like a premium paper backed, like these are like outdoor proof for 5 years or something like that.
I'll put one on my trailer.
I got 100 of them for $96, and I did that.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that's my logo that I did. So
no, that's not bad.
A little less than $1 a piece.
And it's a company here by me, so maybe I can go in locally and do something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
How
pretty
exciting.
Quick turnaround too. It was like, I don't know, a week and a half or something like that.
I need to find a new printer. Your t-shirt printer was amazing, by the way. I'm tempted to use them, but I don't want to copy you, and so I'm not going to.
Use them.
I can? You won't care?
No. I want half of the 30 cents you get for every t-shirt you sell.
You guys want to know how much money I've made off my merch store? And I've sold I've sold quite a bit of stuff. I've made like maybe negative $30 from everything.
Seriously?
Yeah, because I don't charge enough for shipping apparently, and I don't charge enough for the merchandise because I'm not a business kind of person, and so I didn't think this through.
I love your shop, but it is way too cheap.
Well, for you guys, I don't mind sending you stuff and taking a loss. Like, I don't mind at all. But I do need to, that's why I haven't even looked at the merch shop because it's overwhelming me. And I'm just trying to not even push it to anyone so that they won't go on it.
If you can send me a list of what it costs you, I can do a cost analysis and check out shipping in your area and see if I can do something for you.
Well, I'm going to have to drink before any of that. Like, and I will get back to you. But that sounds like that's very nice of you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to get it started again eventually when my channel starts getting a little bigger. So I need to do that for
All right.
sure.
Let's get started.
Okay, so I don't have an agenda. I have questions if we need them. But first, does anyone want to ask anyone else anything?
No,
Go ahead.
no, it was gonna be dirty, and I can't. I gotta stop. I'm good.
It can be dirty because this
I mean, we can always edit it out.
everything we do on our channel we put explicit on just in case.
Yeah, I need.
Well, in that case, Adam, why are you such a bitch?
Because bitch is my middle. Oh my god, how drunk? I guess I am drunk already.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
drunk on Diet Dr. Pepper. Good for you for being explicit. I like that. I have edited myself so much the past like 4 months on my videos. I've not said fuck like once in the past at least 3 fucking months on my channel. Well, that's good. But it's very fucking hard, and I do have to edit it out constantly. But I'll do whatever I need. I guess I was a little. Maybe I'm just a little. So can you tell us more about like what this all is that we're doing today? Like what this entails? I mean, I'm just here, so whatever you need me to do, you tell me.
It is a low-key stress relief Halloween theme hangout.
Oh,
That's what you need.
Relief. Well, then why is Jason here?
Have had a week. The news in BC has been awful. I'm really bitter about getting my COVID and flu shot right before my birthday. So I said, fuck it. We're just going to relax and ask Halloween questions.
Yeah.
Are you guys feeling better?
He got his shot. I haven't got it yet.
My arm still feels like there's a hot poker in it. And,
yeah, I can understand how that is. I remember when I got mine.
It caused heart palpitations,
mm-hmm.
which I'm still dealing with, and it makes it so that just going up and down the stairs that normally doesn't bother me, I'm out of breath by the time I get up, and I'm like, oh
no. I'm sorry. I hope that gets better for you. Shit, that sounds like me every day because I'm so fat and out of shape, but that's just...
stop it.
Oh, stop it. Hey, when's your birthday, Sarah? I forgot. When is it? Is it coming up?
October 25th.
3 days after yours.
Oh, mine's the 17th, actually. My party's on the 22nd, but cool. I didn't realize our birthdays were so close together.
Scorpios.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like 2 seconds from being a Scorpio myself, but I'm a Libra, but just barely. But I have all my houses, pretty much all my houses are in Libra, so I'm the most like Libra you will ever meet, if that makes any sense.
So, I do have something. I need to talk to Matthew for a second.
Please do.
Matthew, are you still here?
I am.
Okay. Do you remember the conversation at Dandyland about how I may or may not be related to the meat shower Crouches?
Yes.
I'm related to the meat shower Crouches.
Oh, that's awesome.
I finally found the connection.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Remember that conversation we had where Harley Bird was not related to the Westover birds?
Yeah.
Turns out neither am I.
Oh, no!
What? Are you talking about the Kentucky meat shower that came from the...
Well, let's just overshadow Matthew here. This is a much bigger deal.
Sorry, I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure I'm following. Okay, Matthew, what did you just say? I didn't even hear what Matthew just said.
Actually, it's not a big deal. It's
yes,
it is.
It's probably somewhere down the line, but it's not as close as I thought it was. We've had there's been a brick wall that's been up for about 20 years in my family tree, and we thought we had it figured out. And there is actually a lady that was a detective, retired from St. Louis, and she started doing her family tree, and she's my cousin. And so she has been doing this amazing research, and we are going a whole different way, that it'll probably end up being tied in with the Melungeons.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, that's really cool that you were able to. I used to work for Ancestry. I don't know if I told you guys, for some years. So I know all about how difficult that is to get past certain lines and stuff. So that's pretty neat. Good
But
for
no
you.
Westover bird money, which makes me sad.
That's really unfortunate, man.
Oh no.
It's a bummer.
So the meat shower.
Yeah. So if you go back, I think it was like 1740-ish. My grandmother's family, the Crouches, came from around Baltimore, which I did not know. This has never been discussed in the family. And so did the patriarch for the Kentucky Crouches. So it's like something like 6 generations back from my grandmother's side, and like 4 back for the people who were rained upon with meat in Kentucky. And yeah, I was trying to figure it out, and I had a roadblock. I had a brick wall, and it was because someone had spelled the gentleman's name wrong. And whenever I came across that, I was able to climb the wall, and then it's like a whole new world.
Wow.
And and now, like, I know the rumor in our family was that the Crouches came from Ireland as O Crouches and dropped the O when they came to the country, but that's not the case. We came from England. So I guess I'm not Irish after all. I haven't gotten back far enough to see, it's still possible, but they were Crouches in England before they came here. So
That's so funny too, because I didn't realize until I worked for genealogy stuff that, can you imagine me like doing your genealogy? Like, hello, sir.
not for a
Let me
second.
just fuck
Oh,
this
that
up.
would be great.
But I didn't realize people changed their names when they got here too, because people were so damn racist. I mean,
Yeah.
Americans are racist. I didn't know that. So that happened a lot in my family too. But yeah, it's very interesting. And I just found out yesterday that I have a descendant from Salem during the witch trials.
Wow.
I was finally told by a relative, and so now I feel like that's why I love it so much, because I told you guys how magical that place is, and how I felt like I'd been there. It's because my family is from there, and they were burning witches at stake. Well, they didn't burn. Your family
was like witch hunting?
No, they weren't, but they were accused.
Oh,
of being witches, which that's more like my style.
Yeah,
that's fine. But
it's like in America, like long-standing families, the Civil War is kind of always the measuring stick, like going back easily.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, especially like where I live, there were like defectors in my area, like households breaking up, like brothers going to opposite sides, so it's like I liken the witch trials to which side of the Civil War were you on? Like, were you hanging witches or were you a witch?
Well, I also found out the other day that, my family was definitely Confederate people. Like, they were slave owning Southerners, and I'm sure they're rolling in their graves knowing that I'm a brown person that's related to them. So that's always fun to find out, because I just can't imagine being on that side of things, but I guess all my family was. And then my other side of my family were slaves, like on my dad's side.
Yeah, that's how you got here, buddy.
It is.
Yeah.
Who knew? A little ebony and ivory action.
Crazy.
So, Adam, let me ask you a question. When you worked at Ancestry, I need you to confirm something for me.
Sure.
How much does the Church of Latter-day Saints
Contribute?
contribute to ancestry?
Oh, a shit ton.
So I have a theory about the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, please tell me. Please do.
Jason might know this. So the Latter-day Saints have the largest database of family tree and genealogy records.
Uh-huh.
Correct.
They do.
From a nefarious point of view, if in magic someone knows your true name and the Church of Latter-day Saints knows all the bloodlines and all the names of everyone in the world, then that puts the Church of the Latter-day Saints in a unique position to have magical power over everyone in the world.
Oh man.
Oh.
You
I never thought of that.
You know, John Smith, the progenitor of Mormonism, was an esoterist
Yeah, but
And a
they
Freemason.
won't admit it.
and
Yeah.
a Freemason.
You mean
When-
Joseph Smith?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joseph Smith.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the Mormon Church is like the fucking Da Vinci Code, you guys. It's crazy. I mean, they are super shady, and they've done some crazy shit over time, and I wouldn't put anything past them. So, very possible.
It's very possible that Joseph Smith's father and brother are responsible for the disappearance of William Morgan, which started the first ever American third political party, the anti-Masonic movement. And they were within a day's travel as Freemasons from where William Morgan was abducted and last seen. And it was by Freemasons. I mean, there were Freemasons that not only went to trial over his disappearance, but that were, arrested for it. And it's really weird because Joseph Smith's third wife is the widow of William Morgan.
Oh.
So it's very possible that his family was responsible for William Morgan's disappearance, and then he turns around and marries William Morgan's wife before moving, to whatever the town in Illinois that they started, the commune. It wasn't really a commune, but Carthage.
Carthage? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, he was a super, super shady guy.
Oh.
And I would not be surprised if that was true. So.
Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, the whole church is just based on just total bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of religions, I guess, but
yeah.
No, this one especially. I mean, it's crazy. I can't believe I was a member of that church for 20 years.
I can.
I mean, I had to escape pretty much, so it's not like I had a choice until then.
But no, Matthew brings up a really good point, though. I mean, the amount of knowledge that they have, second only to probably the Vatican, and it's no coincidence that they're two of the largest religious organizations in the entire world.
And they're so rich. They're so rich. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And money-wise, I would say Scientology's probably got Mormons beat just because of the celebrity influence, I would say. And the business model of pay to play, which the Mormons don't really have. Not for the majority of the people that are Mormons, correct? Like, you don't really have to pay to be a Mormon, but you have to pay to be a Scientologist. I mean, you pay with money.
Well, you do have to pay every month your tithing, which is 10% of your income.
Yeah. But Scientology is way beyond.
Their prices are crazy. I mean, I've been approached by Scientologists numerous times to join, and that's a story for another day. But Um, I mean, I didn't join because I'm not a fucking idiot, but
How dare you insult the integrity of John Travolta and Tom
what?
Cruise?
Sorry, but you know
I
who
think
did join? My
Travolta
brother.
got out.
Travolta got out.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Probably
hope
because that movie that he did about the history of it, like the futuristic space battle movie. What was that called?
You know what?
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield
I-
Earth. It's probably because that bombed so terribly. He's like, you know what? Maybe this is made up, guys.
Maybe.
I secretly love that movie. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I enjoy the movie.
The absurdity of it, though.
Yeah, but I watch Andromeda, so I'm one of those people that watches absurd sci-fi movies.
I've never seen it. Now I want to watch it. So
Jason's shaking his head.
don't watch it.
So bad.
Well, I do. I have watched a lot of Leah Remini's Escaping Scientology, and I just love it. I mean,
That's
I don't.
interesting.
It's not good. It's not great,
No.
but it's like I can relate because it's very similar to the LDS people. I mean, it's a cult, and it's not as aggressive, but it's still a cult nonetheless, as far as I'm concerned. And I was in that cult.
If I were presented with the choice to watch Battlefield Earth or stay at home and drive screws into my toenails, I'd be looking for a screwdriver.
No, you wouldn't. You
No,
lied.
it's okay. I like a lot of movies that people hate, like the Mario Brothers. I love
that.
movie.
I love that.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that movie too.
People hate it so much, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I love it.
it's
The part
bad,
with the
but I love
Goomba?
it.
Oh yeah,
In the
Did you see
elevator?
they're redoing Mario Brothers
yes.
with like freaking Chris Pratt playing Mario? Like I don't.
It's just the
understand.
voice. It's CGI.
Oh, is it
Oh.
CGI?
Yeah, the trailer came out yesterday.
Okay, well that I can believe a little better.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well-
They cast the Addams family, and it's awful. It's awful. Like the actor who's playing Gomez, right?
Yeah.
He's a
Oh, he's
great
like
actor.
a comedic. He's a comedic
He's
actor. Yeah.
not a Gomez. He's a great actor, not a Gomez.
He's more Fester.
He should be Fester.
Is that out yet or no?
November.
I don't know.
Not yet.
I like how Matthew said it like I was watching a movie trailer just now. I thought it was
Talks all the time.
thought it was a pre-recorded voice. It was really good. Good job.
Little
November.
tortilla boy.
Oh, can I pay you to do voiceovers for my channel? Yeah. That'd be great. Well, cool. I'm excited to see the Mario Land at Universal, but I think it's not for a while. But you know, I'm an old millennial, so that was my childhood.
An
I-
old millennial. Shut up, Adam.
I'm an old millennial. I'm at the very beginning of millennials. And I remember when I got my first Nintendo, like my dad had to take a fucking loan out or something. Like it was very expensive because we were poor. Like we were very poor. And my dad did that for us for Christmas.
Which Layaway's coming back now on Amazon. You can do Layaway on Amazon. It's so weird. They went away with credit cards. Now it's coming back.
Oh, I love a good layaway. I really do. I don't mind it. Because then it gives you that you don't get that instant gratification that then you just like you regret it after. Like you pay that shit off and then you get it and then you're just like, oh, look at me. I'm a big boy. I got this 49-inch TV for the bathroom. So excited. Or
Whenever
whatever.
I was a kid, I thought it was called Way Away because
Way
you told
Away?
them you wanted it, and then they took it way away.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
They brought it back when.
That's pretty good. That brings me back to Kmart. I spent every Friday in Kmart eating at the deli, getting our pretzel and our Slurpee, and getting something on layaway. It was fun.
Yeah.
On Way Away.
I'm used to, even I'm probably the youngest here, and even us, I remember eating in like Kmart and stuff like that, and they were good restaurants.
It was fun. I loved it. But, I didn't realize when I was young, how little we had and stuff because my parents did not let us know. And so other than all the other bullshit I dealt with my dad being crazy, I had a good time going to that Kmart every week and doing, I managed to do some fun stuff without a ton of money. I wish I could do that still, but it's a little harder nowadays.
Question: favorite pie?
Oh my god!
What's everyone's
It's not
favorite
random at all. Ooh, I'm a pumpkin man.
Is pumpkin cheesecake count as pie? Because it's in pie form, but it's cheesecake.
Nope.
Sure.
Oh.
No.
Sure, why not?
Disagree.
Hey, Matthew.
Oh, I know.
Matthew's the tiebreaker for this.
I haven't said mine yet.
Cheesecake a pie yet?
I'm going to wait then. I'm going to be the tiebreaker.
All right.
I take that back. So my grandma had property in Redmond, and we would pick blackberries from the blackberry bush. Oh my God, the best blackberry pie ever. It wasn't that awful store-bought crap, and she didn't spray her garden. She was very old-fashioned. Oh, so good.
That sounds delicious.
It's a pretty good runner-up.
My favorite pie, I'd have to say, is a chicken pot pie. That's what's got meat in it. No, I will say I hate pumpkin pie with a passion. I absolutely hate it. I do not eat it ever. Because one year I ate 2 pies by myself when I was younger, like 2 whole pumpkin pies because I'm a fat ass, and I threw up for like 2 days, and ever since then I cannot eat it anymore. Like I used to love it.
Oh.
But it's like that, with that and red vines, it kind of ruined my life when I ate like a 5-pound bucket of those. But I do love a coconut cream and a banana pie because, I don't know. I just love them. So I guess I'd say one of those.
Matthew?
I was going to say key lime, but then he said coconut cream, and I think, oh my God, that has to be my favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna go.
It is really good. And when you get it made homemade and stuff, it just makes all the difference.
See, I had to make coconut cream pie every day for 6 years.
Oh no! So you're traumatized.
I hate it. It's like kale salad. 27 kgs a freaking week, and I hate it.
Kale salad, to be fair, is really fucking stupid. I'm sorry. It's dumb.
It is. It's a weed that should have never been a vegetable.
No. And if you got my husband in this room right now, he would throw a fit if you even say the word kale. He starts freaking out because once I put kale in beef stroganoff to try and be healthy, and he's like, "You tricked me, you bitch! You tricked me. You put kale in this shit," and he would never eat beef stroganoff again from me. And I was like, I just wanted to try and be healthy. And he's like, well, take that shit and try it somewhere else. It's not happening here.
Collard greens or chard. Excellent.
Ooh, yeah.
Throw in a soup. Those. You don't need kale.
No. The only exception for kale is the soup at Olive Garden, the Zuppa Toscana soup. They put kale in it, and I love that soup. And I'll eat the shit out of it. But that's the only way I'll eat kale. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Didn't you work at an Olive Garden?
I worked, for 4.5 years.
Was the soup in a can? Or did they actually make it?
No, we made it. Like, I had to help make it. Like, they had us working in the back like crazy people. And I'm like, I thought I was a server. Okay, why am I cooking? Like, shit like that.
Did they reuse the breadsticks?
No, the breadsticks were always terrible to me because they were hard as a rock and we always overcooked them, or they would just sit under the light. But no, everything. It's funny. Like back when I worked at Olive Garden, stuff was still made from scratch. Like honestly, it's not anymore. Now it's like,
No.
I mean, they sell fucking hamburgers for crying out loud. So I don't trust anything they do.
Yeah, they're trying to appeal to everyone. It's like here, Greek restaurants don't make traditional Greek because the people won't like it, and it's awful. It's like you can have a fake gyro, a pizza, or a burger. This is a Greek restaurant now.
I love Greek food.
See, I worked for 9 years at a traditional Greek restaurant, and if they had burgers for the nut job that wouldn't eat anything but a burger.
Mm-hmm.
But they had katifi for dessert. They had traditional tiramisu, moussaka, spazio.
Have you ever had galata barreco? Is that what it's called? I'm not saying it right. It's a dessert.
Yep.
That's my freaking favorite of all time. But I go to a place in Long Beach, California, and it's like to die for. It's the best Greek restaurant I've ever had. But also, I don't know any better, so maybe I'm wrong.
So back to pie, lemon meringue pie. That's my favorite.
Oh, is it?
Yep, lemon meringue pie.
Too.
I never liked lemon or lime anything because it freaks me out because it was sour and it didn't make sense to me and I hated it.
You're
But
Polynesian.
something happened though, you guys. When I hit like 35-ish, I just like want lemon meringue fucking pie every day now, and I love it.
Your taste buds change every 7 years.
Is that how often your cells completely regenerate? Is every 7 years or something? Okay, that makes sense.
Your blood renews every 7 months.
Your stomach is every 3 months. Your stomach cells completely regenerate.
That's freaky. It's just freaky. But
Okay,
yeah,
I have all these questions of existential dread now passing through my head, and why are we here to just completely rebuild ourselves every 3 months to 7 years? And I wonder what sort of cosmic trickster would set these rules for intelligent life that we have to not only run countries and change diapers, but we have to also subconsciously rebuild our bodies after a certain amount of time just so we can keep on keeping on. And now
there's definitely a man that did that.
I kind of just want to go to bed.
I'm actually on the opposite end of that because I am to the point of, all right, if I'm regenerating this, and this, then how come, like a lizard, I can't regrow an arm?
Actually, there are a few human beings that can regrow limbs, but it's like only at birth.
Oh yeah.
And they've regrown fingers, toes. One kid regrew an arm.
Babies are freaky. They're like, it's easy to believe in why people believe in changelings. Babies will get an arm cut off and it'll grow back. Like completely freeze to death. They'll take them to the hospital and they'll come back as if everything's fine. Babies are freaky.
It is freaky, and I'm already scared of kids, so now I'm even more scared of them. They're terrifying.
You're just scared of them because they're small versions of yourself.
It's because I eat children's souls, like Winifred Sanderson.
Adrenochrome?
What's that?
Adrenochrome?
Oh, that's what I want to tell Matthew.
Yes.
Matthew, have you seen Hocus Pocus 2?
I have not, because I'm afraid that they're going to cast spells and it's going to come through the TV.
No, I can attest because I've seen it. I've seen it 4 times now, and I'm completely sane.
Now, I have not watched it yet because I want to rewatch the first one again since it's been a long time since I've seen it. But I've been told that the mother character that they reference is flat out a representation of Hecate.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
Yes.
Oh, in the first movie, right?
No,
In the
no.
second-
in
in
the
the-
second,
in the
they
second
talk
one.
about her mom.
Yeah.
They did. Okay,
It's
maybe I gotta.
very brief. They
It's
go,
very brief in
they
the
go,
beginning.
they'll talk and they'll be like mummy or something. It's very brief.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Get a lot of hate. I've never first Hocus Pocus.
Jason, you hate Hocus Pocus, right? Are you the one that hates it, or is it?
No,
someone-
I just haven't watched it.
Oh, someone I know hates it with a passion, and they're one of my good friends, and I'm just like, how do I even know you? No, Hocus Pocus was great. I freaking love that movie, and I liked it when it was not good to like, and everyone was like, what the hell is this shit? I mean, I remember being a 10-year-old boy, like wearing a sheet, pretending it's a dress, singing like Bette Midler in my basement with
Lovely.
glitter, and it was amazing. I'm gonna have to say the gays are the reason we have a sequel right now, so you're welcome. Like,
Thank you.
honestly, the drag queens are who kind of just kept it going, and even when no one would watch it, and now it's like Disney's like little love child of money, so of course they're gonna promote the shit out of it. So
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm good. What were you gonna say?
So I
agree
read
with
the
that.
book, and this isn't in the book. There's a raven in the beginning and the end. It's never referenced anywhere in the movie at all. They don't talk about it. He's an observer, and he has a red and gold band on his wings. Never referenced in the book. Never referenced in the movie. It's some kind of Easter egg. AJ thinks it's Raven the god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Did you guys like the movie or?
Yeah.
Oh, we loved it.
Yeah.
Especially the casting. I'm so happy with the casting.
They didn't keep to the book, but the changes
No.
they made were
Were important.
important.
Horseface tried to overact, but Bette Midler, you could see Bette Midler like putting her in her place. Like one part of the movie, she really loves her. So thank God she didn't ruin it.
I love that she
called
said Horseface, and I knew
Horseface.
exactly who she was talking about.
Yep.
Oh my God. My question after I saw the movie was, okay, so they have like Disney money, right? So
Yeah.
why could fix her face up a little so that she didn't look like she was 60? Like, I'm not trying to be ageist because I think it's great to age and become wise and old and wrinkled.
Is that true, Matthew?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, Jason, you're a sassy little bitch today, aren't you?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question, so I can't make any
You're
quips
gonna
on
have
it.
to turn your hearing aids up, Grandpa.
But the thing I was just thinking about is I know that in the first Hocus Pocus they were old and they became young. I have to wonder, I haven't seen Hocus Pocus 2, but is it a case of they did not fully youngify?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe, but
Was it explained that way?
no, they didn't explain any of it, and they didn't explain why
No.
freaking Kathy and Jimmy was like 100 pounds lighter, and that threw me off because she was so skinny and looks so. I mean, I love them so much, and they were the movie, like they were the best part, of course. But it kind of threw me out of it when I was just looking at like Sarah Jessica Parker. Like depending on the lighting and the scenes, I'm just like, holy shit. Is she supposed to be the same one in the first one? Because she was in her, like, what, 20s?
She actually acted proper in the first one. This one, she was trying to be like,
She
I'm
was
hot
not good.
now.
She
Yeah.
was overacting. You're right. I noticed that when I was with my friends when we first saw it. I'm just like, what is she doing? What is this bitch doing? She's like overdoing it. So I totally saw that. But then here's my thing. I didn't like the end because I didn't like that. Well, I don't want to spoil it for Matthew. Matthew, I don't know if you know this, but it's a movie about witches that try and kill kids and then they die at the end because they can't kill the kids. So if you like the first one, Maybe you'll like the second one because it's the exact same, pretty much plot points. But when they had the ending, how they made it all sad, and yeah, maybe I cried at the end. I'm not gonna lie, I might have had a tear. But I thought about it, and I'm like, this is bullshit. These witches aren't nice. They eat children. Why couldn't we keep them evil villains throughout the whole thing?
It feels like they're trying to send the message about how, like, so this was actually one of my questions, was one idea of superstition you want to, there's this whole thing now about I'm the great granddaughter of the witch you didn't burn, and they're trying to show people that, you know, these witches were in their wrong time and they were misunderstood, and if they were today, and it's just this, no, that's not history. And so I think that's them trying to say, basically, Sanderson's sisters were just like the Salem victims. They were misunderstood, and it led them to a dark path, but they can be redeemed. We all can be redeemed. I like the ending because for me it was, they get a happy ending, and I'm getting old now where I want everyone who's not a QAnon person to have a happy ending.
No, I mean, it was a sweet ending, and it was a good way to, like, I guess, wrap it up. But now there's talk that there's a third one, because there's a scene at the end where there's another black flame candle.
Sanderson's sister
Just
was
ruined
not
the whole
announced
movie for
in
me,
the
Adam.
movie.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, Matthew.
Jesus. Well, I don't got to watch it now because Adam just told me the whole movie.
I didn't tell you anything, actually. All I said was
I think it was mostly me.
All you need to know is it's Disney. So, of course, they're going to milk the shit out of... Can I just tell you something? Okay, I grew up next door to Disneyland. I remember they would never celebrate Halloween. They said it was... I talked to people who worked there, and they were like, it's never going to happen. We're never going to do Halloween stuff because we've got Christian values. Everyone here is very against that kind of stuff. The Haunted Mansion's the closest you're ever going to get. And then I used to work at a haunted house here in Salt Lake, and the woman who started it, her name's Sydney Neal. She is the person who invented Halloween time at Disneyland. The stupid shit that they do now every year. So it's kind of her fault. She made a shit ton of money. But
I love the stupid shit they do at Disneyland.
I just hate that I have to pay for another ticket. I'm very angry. As someone who grew up in Southern California, I remember when tickets were $30. And I know they can't be $30, but they can't be $179 right now, because that's what it costs to go in the park when I was there last month. $179 to go into just Disneyland for the day. And that is ridiculous to me.
And that's California, right?
Yeah.
Or is that Florida?
Disneyland in California. And then they've got the thing where you got to pay for a fast pass. You got to pay for this if you want to go on the Star Wars. I mean, by the time you're paying for all this shit, you're paying over $200 just to go to Disneyland for 4 hours.
How many times are you going a year, though, Adam?
Well, back in the day, I would go 100 times in a year sometimes.
I mean, that's why you get the annual pass. It's cheaper.
Well, I don't think didn't they do away with them or something recently?
I don't think so.
But no, the thing is I'm not going because I do not like anything about the parks anymore. The magic's completely gone for me. I'm a bitter old queen.
Adam. That breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. I don't want to hear it.
I am the biggest Disney fan you'll ever know until shit started getting weird over the past 10 years. Like, it was a different place 10 years ago, and now it's just money. And I know it's always been a business, and Walt was a businessman at the end of the day, but I have to really think.
I'll concede that point.
And like the same with Hocus Pocus, it's like, you know, it's just, I'm very conflicted about Halloween stuff at Disney because they were so against all of that stuff until they noticed that people were spending a shit ton of money on Halloween. Cause it's like, the second most, lucrative holiday in the world.
In the States, Halloween makes almost as much as Christmas. It's getting pretty close. Yeah.
And so it's like, if they can make a buck, then they'll do it. But it's And even like the CEO the other day, because I follow up on everything Disney, just because I grew up with it. He literally said, he's like, I will. They're like, what do you think about raising the prices again, like another 20% like you did? And he's like, something like to the effect of, well, I'm not worried. People will always pay. It doesn't matter what it will go to. We'll always have people that'll pay the money. And
Yeah.
that's the way that they think about everything now. And it's just not for me. Because I went to Knott's Berry Farm and had a real great time last month. And I paid $50 for like everything. And if you can have a fun experience and not mortgage your house for it, then I'm for that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to Disneyland next month because someone's paying for it. Like, I'm not going to pay, but my husband's work's paying. So yeah, sure, I'll go. I'll deal with the crowds. But that's the other thing. It's not fun for me to deal with the crowds, and it's just crowds shoulder to shoulder. How is that fun? Not for me. It's just not.
Anyone with PTSD is gonna hate that.
No, and honestly, for us adults that like Halloween, don't go to Disneyland. Save up the money and go to Oregon, Halloween Town. I don't know who owns Halloween Town. I think it must be Disney, but they have like the pumpkin, they have the taxi driver, like they have the Halloween Town as it is. It's a huge celebration, and it's a good Oregon town, so it's all inclusive. You don't have the sketch Oregon people, and of course they have the gift shops for all of us who can't stop buying Halloween stuff. So
I love
you
it.
have to make sure you take an extra suitcase just for the stuff.
That's on my list to go visit for the channel. I would love it. I love anything Halloween, but like I said, I draw the line at giving Disney $150 to go to the park for the day, and then another $100 to go to their Halloween thing at the same park for a fireworks show, pretty much, and some a handful of candy or whatever. I'm not doing that. I don't have any problem with people who want to do that. I think that's great if you love it, but it's not for me anymore.
I did it just to see Maleficent. I'm sorry.
She's a sexy woman.
So do you want to hear my Mickey Mouse story?
Yes.
Only if you say it in a Mickey Mouse voice.
I will
Not
not.
anything in the world.
So
Chase.
back in the 80s, I was around 10 years old, and my mom took me to Disney World. And when I saw the commercials, you go to the gate, and there's Mickey and Minnie and Goofy and Donald, and they're all at that gate waiting for you with open arms, ready just to sweep you up and hug you. And I was so ready for that.
Aww.
I was waiting. So we got to the gates. They're not there. We go inside. They're not there. We go around and around and around, and they are nowhere to be found. And this is about midday at this point. And I'm getting beside myself.
Aww.
And they had a stage performance. And they had at that point they would be on stage, and then I thought, okay, well, they're going to come off stage now, and they're going to see that I'm there. And so when they went off stage, they went into the little tunnel, and they scurried away. So they never came out. So at this point, that's when they would still have the villains out. And so you don't want to see the villains when you're young, but I'm in the point of tears.
Aww.
And my mom's like, okay, let's go over here and let's just go see her. And it's Maleficent. And I'm like, I don't want to see Maleficent. I just want to see Mickey Mouse. And he hates. And I'm just in the point of tears. And she's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, because Mickey Mouse hates me.
Aww.
Oh.
And you could see in her eyes that her heart just broke. And she laid down and she wrapped her arms around me, hugged me, and she said, "Who needs that old mouse anyway?" And after that, I was Maleficent's.
Awesome.
And that was the beginning of the end for you. No, that's so sweet.
That was the beginning of his slow descent away from baptism. Or
Yes.
baptism.
Funny story, I was baptized in the Baptist faith on October 31st, 1982.
Oh.
I have a question. Were you baptized where two rivers meet?
No, I was baptized in a pond.
Okay. I was reading something about... So Cernunnos is very theorized because a lot of the Celt knowledge is gone. But there was someone saying that where 2 or 3 rivers meet is holy for Cernunnos. So I'm like, how many hardcore Christians are going down to the river and getting bathed in creeks and stuff? Because in the book I'm reading, creeks are a special place, especially where rivers meet, and they're getting baptized in the name of God. What if they're getting baptized in a Celtic tradition for Cernunnos?
Is this in Jake's book again?
Yeah, he was talking about, I can't remember what it was, but something about where 2 rivers meet or 2 creeks meet.
Isn't that called a twain? A twain in a river?
Mark Twain.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's fascinating that where 2 rivers meet, a confluence of rivers, a twain, is
Why you gotta say it like that?
No, it wasn't a dig. It just came off that way.
Oh my God.
It's fascinating though that the area of this, a confluence, a twain, is revered as holy when people outside of traditional and historical religion know and have experienced that running water generates activity, not just paranormal activity and you know, stereotypical activity like that, but like a perfect example like Cernunnos, you know, this everything, you know, this is an area where the field is alive, where it's hypercharged, and it's utilized and exploited for, you know, Christian church because it's a holy place, because things happen there. Or maybe I'm just really out of touch and it really is holy and it has nothing to do with Pan.
Oh, I don't think that's it. I kind of get a kick out of this now, knowing that people are getting baptized as Christians in the twain of a river.
I have a funny baptism story. It doesn't involve me. I was only a witness. Anyone would like to hear that?
Absolutely.
Did they drown?
No. And when I tell you the story, you'll understand how that would be an impossibility. So, imagine it. Oblong, Illinois, 1994. That was a shout out to the Golden Girls, Adam.
I was just going to say that picture.
So, 2 friends of mine are having a very, very in-depth discussion in the 4th grade about how one of them was going to go to hell because he had never been baptized. And the other friend said, "Don't worry, I'll save you." He said, "At lunch, meet me in the gym." And he said, "Okay, I'll meet you in the gym." So lunch came around, and there's my friend Joel and my other friend Nathan. Nathan is the one who's planning to go to hell. Joel's here to save him. And they go to the water fountain, and they fill Joel's hands with water, like a cup. And they go underneath the volleyball referee scorer's stand. And Joel baptized Nathan that day in the gymnasium so that he would not go to hell.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
That is cute. I mean, You know what I was doing in 4th grade? I was doing automatic writing in the gym and doing Ouija boards and talking to the dead. So I
So
did
you
not
were
get
the cool kid, in other words.
I did not get baptized by my fellow students. I got told I was going to hell. So, but that's cute. Kids are cute sometimes, just sometimes.
See, now I look at it the other way, and I say, kids around 9 years old should have no basis for this being a thing that they need to be concerned about in their life, and that the church has brainwashed people significantly enough that children are baptizing one another in gymnasiums in the Midwest so that their friends don't have to go to hell.
Oh no, I agree with you. They're definitely
Yeah.
brainwashed. I'm just saying, like, he was doing it out of what he thought was just the goodness of his heart, and that's sweet to me. But no, absolutely brainwashed. That's cuckoo for me.
Yeah. That's
Like,
probably why my other friend punched him in the ear in 8th grade and ruptured his eardrum, and then he was homeschooled for 3 years because he couldn't face the humiliation.
oh no.
God.
I've never seen anyone get baptized in a river, because when you're Mormon, like, that's not a thing. Like, that doesn't happen. I mean, maybe it did at one point, but we get baptized in bathtubs with like a mirror on the ceiling so that people can sit in a room and watch you. It's real creepy.
That's how my
And,
bathtub is.
That's how your bathtub is. I'm not surprised.
I found my notes. So it's the place where two creeks meet is said to be a location of powerful healing.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm more willing to believe that than I'm going to get salvation with the Lord.
There's no salvation with you, Adam.
There really isn't. You're right.
You're too far gone.
Absolutely right. Thank you.
That's why I love you so much.
Straight to hell with me.
Here's a question I have for the group. Due to the recent popularity of Hellier and such, do you believe that Pan and Cernunnos are one and the same?
I actually have a personal story about that. So after we watched Hellier, we opened the altar. Something was already in the house waiting for the altar, because right before I opened the altar, a bunch of weird stuff happened in my house. We invoked Pan to the altar, but we got Cernunnos. We didn't get Pan. We got the horn god, even though Pan was the name we evoked.
There you go.
Wow.
Same thing.
Same thing.
What
Same
do you
thing?
think, Jason?
I think it's the same thing. I think that it's no different than people calling their grandfather their grandpappy or whatever. I don't think this thing cares what it's called. You know, it's been around forever. It's everything, in a sense. You know, I don't think it matters what people want to call it. On Earth, we may call Mars outside of our solar system. If there is some advanced civilization that has the capability of recognizing planets in other solar systems as we do, they may not call it Mars. In fact, I guarantee you they won't. That doesn't mean that we don't call it Mars and that it's not the same thing we're talking about. So I think that it's definitely the same thing.
That's a very good answer, Jason. I agree with you.
Thanks.
I think that's a very good way to put it.
So I've got a different perspective.
I'm anxious to hear it.
Yeah.
I think that Pan, or what is posing as Pan, is most certainly different than Cernunnos. And I think there is actually a quiet battle going on right now. So when I found out that Sarah and AJ had invoked Pan and they got Cernunnos, that it's interesting to me. I have a lot of hesitancy in dealing with what people are calling pan, because to not put a fine point on it, pan is quite rapey.
Oh, incredibly rapey.
And
Ooh.
you get that again and again in the stories of the people who are being, induced with the spirit of pan. Dan was talking about it. Alan was talking about it.
Yeah.
I've got personal stories of people I know that were about it. I don't get that with Kununos being one of my patrons. I don't ever get that from Kununos.
Do you think that comes from the duality of Pan's existence and the Oak King and the Holy King, the two sides, the winter and fall and the summer and spring, that everyone in the animal kingdom is a little rapey outside of civilization? No, like, think about it. You're a wild animal. You're living in the forest. You just want to procreate. You just want to keep your species alive. And Pan is supposed to be the spiritual representation of that energy. But he doesn't rape in the fall and the winter. He rapes in the spring so that the babies are not born into the cold.
Quite possibly, but I think there's also a chaotic element to Pan that is not a good thing.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree.
When we invoked, there was like a couple of things that would go with Matthew's. Like, AJ was meditating, and he felt something from the front door run towards the bedroom where the altar is, and it hit a brick wall and couldn't get through
the door at me.
Through the door. And when I consecrated the whole house as an altar to Sernanos, all of the kind of conflicting energy went.
Now, speaking of Pan, there is a lineage of Pan. And the one that's truly rapey is the grandson of the original Pan.
Does
and
the
that one
Church of Latter-day Saints have this genealogy?
Yeah.
Yes, they sure do.
Go ahead. I want to hear more about this.
Yes.
So the one that's rapey is the grandson of Pan, and he existed for only a small portion of the time of the existence of Pan. And the ones before and the ones after weren't as rapey. They were more benevolent, but that one was just wrong. Out of the entire lineage that I was able to find,
was it the Greeks or the Romans that had Pan?
It was the Greeks.
Oh, I was gonna say, if it was the Romans, that makes a lot of sense.
But the thing is, by the time of his grandson, that's when Rome had conquered Greece, and so the mixing of a Roman god with the Greek god created Pan as we know Pan today, because that is the one that everyone emulates, and that's the one that everyone's given power to. And so that one is the one that is trying to dominate. And then you have all these other versions of Pan from the originator to that one and beyond it that are trying to say, no, this isn't what we are. And they're trying to correct that. So like Matthew says, there's some sort of struggle for dominance in the whole area of Pan, because Pan is a title as much as it is an entity.
So are you insinuating then that maybe we're not dealing with two sides of the same coin, that we're actually dealing with different representations.
Yeah.
Entirely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Something familiar, like I was studying in Kabbalah. There's been a lot of, I'm doing a lecture. It's Esoterica. Definitely look it up. He's a really good for kind of ancient history esoteric.
Justin Sledge.
I'm listening to his lecture on Kabbalah. There's a lot of crossovers between his lecture and Hellier and ultra terrestrials and Marco's experience. Marco and them were saying that they felt negativity and like pushback, and Justin Sledge was saying there's 7 palaces and you have to know the codes and the keywords to get through them, and the angels do not want you getting through that palace. They will do everything to stop you, including one of the, I think, is it prophets? Yeah. One of the scholars of Kabbalah said he was almost killed by an angel. And I immediately thought of Marco and them and their ultra-terrestrial experience.
I don't want to incriminate myself. I'm not going to say much more.
Oh no.
I have a strong disagreement with the shared terminology between Kabbalah and Western Catholicism. I can't relate to Kabbalah because I think angels are bullshit. So I don't want to have to, I don't know, like make that a part of my life. You know what I mean? That exists in it. So just the terminology alone is such a deterrent for me. And on top of that, not feeling like it's necessary to get the results that you're wanting to join some sort of, order or some sort of magical group, and you have to follow their path, So yeah, it's to me, the whole thing kind of has that stink of Christianity to me, even though it's not Christianity, and I understand that. I can't wash it off my hands after touching it.
Kabbalah, look up Justin Sledge's stuff. He goes through the history. Christianity basically took the idea of Kabbalah and took away all the knowledge. And now they have no understanding of their own religion.
Understand. I still just can't get past that wall of angels. And I know it's not the same, but they're called the same thing. And I can't. I just.
That brings me to the next question.
Oh, you had one?
Exercising your demon pets.
Oh no!
They released the episode of My Possessed Pet.
Oh yeah!
Trailer, and it was so bad. The trailer.
Oh my god!
Was
I mean, my cats are possessed for sure. Then, but no, I will never watch that show. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. But that's pretty funny.
I didn't even know this was a show.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys
went on a long rant at a fireside chat, and everyone's like, "What the hell is this?" It's so bad. Like, they're talking about my horse was possessed, my dog was acting weird, and we're like, was your dog trying to warn you about carbon monoxide? Because in the trailer, it clearly looks like the dog is like, there might be carbon dioxide in the house. Like, oh.
Oh, no, yeah, no. No, that sounds like as crazy as the Texas lady who said watching Hocus Pocus is going to bring the demons in our house.
That. Yes. That pissed me off so much.
The trend of satanic panic. What's your guys' thoughts on it?
I will. When's this episode going to come out? When is this going to be a public thing?
It's going to be probably before the 30th. Okay. Probably, I'll have it out by the 31st.
So, okay. Then there's a really interesting answer, basically, to that question on my podcast this year for Hair Raising Horror Week. It wasn't really a question about it, but the answer really took me by surprise. And I think I know you guys listen. I'm curious whenever you hear it, I'd like to get your impression on it. I think it's I can't even answer it better or talk about the Satanic Panic better than that. I liked it a lot.
Ooh, something to look forward to.
I'll be listening, Jason.
I can always count on you, Adam.
I'll be here.
How's the Satanic Panic in Tennessee? Do you guys still have that nut job?
Which one? We have Greg Locke, who's over in Nashville, and he's the one that called out the witches in his congregation. So, but there is also there was going to be in Maryville for Halloween. It was just a Halloween party, but they were calling it a witches' ball, and this local pastor went schizo on Facebook Live, was driving around in his truck trying to find the location so he could bless it. And they've gotten to the point where they've had to hire guards. They've had to up their security. They've changed the location because they're afraid that this church is going to come and try to burn them.
Oh my God.
It is
That's
Salem
so
again.
awful.
Absolutely. There is a lot of talk in the local pagan community. There's people that are, reasonably frightened by the pushback that thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Yeah, because you can carry guns in Tennessee a lot easier. So that's actually scary.
You act as if there is an agreement between the government and the people of Tennessee on whether or not they're allowed to carry guns.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
We have open carry and concealed carry without a permit here.
Yeah.
Same here in Utah.
Not here, man. Illinois, if we can't make money off of it, you can't do it.
Well,
you have to have a permit for everything.
I do miss Illinois. That was my favorite place.
You're the only person who has ever said that sentence.
Yeah, what is going on?
I lived in Indiana, which was so boring. And you can go to Illinois and there's Chicago area, and then they have that, I'm going to butcher this. They have a wall with a carving of a Thunderbird in Illinois. That's amazing. And
yeah, over by Alton.
Talked about that.
Yeah. Mounds in Illinois? I can't remember if I'm remembering.
There's mounds in
right.
Indiana also.
They're in people's private property.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that because we farm so much here in Illinois and Indiana and Ohio, most of the mounds that were here are gone. They're plowed through. If you were to go back, 400 years, 500 years probably, man, it would have been a different landscape. But because of the climate and the geology, it's perfect farmland. And that outweighed the cultural heritage of the indigenous people, unfortunately. Because, the white people are trash.
No comment. Just kidding.
I think
white people is crazy.
Set that up for you, Adam.
I'm half white, so I'm half nuts. How's that?
Yeah. No, but the mount thing, all over. I'm finding I'm always researching something, always have something going on. And I had dipped into Native American stuff again for a little minute or two, and I was looking up mounds around me, within a few hours. Of course, Cahokia on the west side of Illinois by St. Louis is massive, but then not far from me in Indiana, there's one it's actually a state park now. I'm gonna go there soon. I don't know when I'll have time to do that, but I'm gonna go there. They actually have a giant carved Bigfoot statue from a tree that was there, which I find fascinating. I think what it came from was like why I got into looking at mounds locally was because of the Black Panther lore and the proximity of Black Panther stories to Indian mounds and significant Native American sites, and how everyone in my county has a story about a Black Panther, but they're not the giant Black Panthers. They're just like normal sized Black Panthers. And I that's how I got into looking at like where there could be mounds locally. But then when you pull up Google Maps and you look around me, it's like, acres and acres and acres and miles and miles and miles of nothing but fields. It's hard to believe that there weren't mounds like right here, And so just because the mounds themselves are destroyed, that energy is not destroyed that was put into them. So definitely still portals for alien big cats.
I wonder if that's why we have the UFO crop circles in far fields. Maybe those areas were once mounds.
Maybe it's a good point.
What you were just talking about brought Aztec mounds to mind, and we don't know exactly who built the mounds, right? Who the mound people were.
Some of them.
Or some of them?
Like, in the States we do, the Adena, the Hopewell. There's a little bit of conjecture that the Shawnee and the Illini had taken in some of these mound builders and referred to them as, I think it was the Moon-eyed people, and that they were responsible for Cahokia, which is it's a giant site.
Is that in Collinsville? Or like it's in Illinois, right?
Yeah, but it's right by St. Louis. I think it's between Collinsville and St. Louis. But yeah, it's really interesting. Like you said, like the Aztec, I don't know. I have no idea.
Because in Aztec culture, they had a cult to the panther.
Yeah,
and their priests would dress as panthers in panther skins and become like a shifter, and they could shapeshift into panther form. Could it not be the spirit of a shaman that you're seeing in panther form?
Yeah, protecting the sacred ground.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Matthew?
I know with the Moon-eyed people, there is the site down in Georgia where there's because a lot of the Moon-eyed stuff they try to attach that to Madoc and the Welsh, but there were a lot of structures, walls, but there was, I know at one place, interestingly enough, there was a temple that had been built with a giant serpent with ruby eyes.
That's cool. That is definitely nice. Serpent is a worldwide archetype. Namu is the progenitor of what Tiamat is, and Tiamat is a destroyer serpent, but it's like a hydra.
Yeah, it's another example of Christianity trying to convert people of different belief systems and saying, this snake that you have worshipped for generations and generations and generations, he's the bad guy in our story. So you'd better come over here and take care of this because, he's tricking people into eating apples and shit. And you don't want to have any part of that. You got to get away from the apple tree and you got to come over here and worship white Jesus because that's what we do. That's the only way to salvation.
White Jesus.
Blue-eyed white Jesus.
I was gonna say this is well maybe a little bit along the lines, but I'm gonna go to Chichen Itza this December to the pyramids. I'm gonna go to some Mayan ruins. I'll let you know if I run into any shamans or anything crazy when I'm there. How's that?
When you're there, especially if you're going to be around Mayan ruins, find out for me if there is truth to the. There's been some papers written recently about an elevated mercury reading in Mayan ruins.
Oh.
One of our Guathunic friends sent me an article today about the Mayan ruins and the mercury.
Oh man, you gotta post that in House of Weird.
Okay.
I just imagine these labyrinths filled with rivers of mercury.
That would be amazing.
Poisonous.
It's only poisonous if you fall in it.
Or eat it.
Or
breathe
eat
it.
I haven't eaten any mercury lately, so
Lately.
if I see any, I'll report back to you. I'll have to ask. I'll let you know.
Is there some kind of a metering device, Matthew, that we can come together and get for Adam to take with him on this trip that could like do a soil sample or
sure there's an app, you know?
atmospheric
we should do
thing?
a Kickstarter kit.
Is there an app for that?
It's like the necrophonic, but for mercury.
Yes.
Yeah, the mercuphonic.
The mercuphonic, exactly. I mean, I'm excited to go see it.
I'm going to tell you, I like Adam's travel part of his videos, but I enjoy his food portions even more.
Oh yeah, big
You
time.
and me both.
I'm like, Adam, show me what you are eating.
Oh no. I know I got told that it was stupid by a lot of people, but I've decided, you know what? Like, I don't care.
Good for you, man.
I love to eat, and I'm going to show you what I'm eating where I go all over the world, and you're going to love it or you're not going to love it. The other day when I was eating fried chicken at Knott's Berry Farm, and I was sitting here talking about the taste profiles of the rosemary crusted pork loin, and as I'm doing it, there's a zombie that's like behind me the whole time, and he's like shaking his head, and he's in the camera like peeking over my head, and he just thinks I'm the biggest asshole ever. And I didn't know he was there for a good minute, and it was just a delight. So you're going to see that this weekend. I'm going to post that.
Oh, yeah.
But people do think I'm nuts, and that's fine.
My favorite thing about Adam's videos, and I've said this before, is I love the way that you cut things. Like, especially if you're saying something and you're escalating, and right before you get to that payoff, you cut it.
I do.
And I love that.
I do.
That is such great comedic value. And
that's
bang
so
for
Adam.
The buck. Dude, I absolutely love it. That is my favorite thing about your content. Like, I love all the other stuff, but that is top notch.
Mainly it's because you're going to hear an F-bomb, so I've got to cut it, and, it works. Whatever.
It's so funny. Like, that's my type of humor. I love that.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. I do love to swear, especially if I'm very excited about food or being lost somewhere, because I get lost a lot on these videos, or I get lost in my house. So it's really not. I get lost anywhere. It's just gonna happen. But no, I need to come hang out with you guys. I need to come to Kentucky because I want to. Oh my gosh, there's a ghost in this office.
Thanks.
Did you hear that? Okay, maybe my cat knocked something.
We're going to Goblin Market next year, Adam. You have to come. It's
dude.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Somerset.
Dandyland.
Oh, it's in
Dandy-
Somerset.
And it's all of the local vendors and all of the weirdos and wonderful people.
There's a pretty decent chance that the next Goblin Market will also be a showing of my documentary, like on a big screen. So
Isn't that where you
my
were,
God.
Jason? That's so cool.
I'm so excited. You have to release a Blu-ray too, so we can buy
oh my
it.
God, no way. Oh, I can't even.
You have
I
to
can't
tell
even.
us if that happens, Jason, and I will come. I'll be there.
Oh,
I'll
dude,
find a
if
way.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cute.
Adam, we could fly you into Louisville and I could pick you up on my way down.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely have to go.
And I get cheap hotel rooms anywhere I go in the world, so it's even cheaper than
no.
$50, y'all. So
If it's
There you go.
if the weather is decent, like we got camp. Matthew and I
camp.
camped at Dandyland last time. Well,
Yeah,
and
I
I
would
say
camp.
that, and here's what happened. All right, I was the only person in a tent in this 7-acre pasture, right? This little tiny tent, air mattress, big old me like a bear crawling into a cave. And I told Matthew, I said, Matthew, I'm kind of scared, man. I said, I wish that you were camping with me. And he said, Jason, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, brother, because I love you so much. I'm going to park my car next to your tent, and I'll be there for you if you need me in the night. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and Matthew was gone.
Like a thief in the night.
And I had to pee in the bushes all alone. He
You were by
promised that we
yourself?
would cross the streams, but we didn't because it was just one stream. There was no Holy Land at Dandyland that night.
Oh my gosh.
No
That's
twin.
Is that the picture that you posted on Instagram where you were like something about good night and you were in a tent
Yeah.
and there was the moon or something?
So,
So you were by yourself? Like just
Oh, yeah.
by yourself?
Yeah.
so
I
what
mean,
he's not
like,
no.
go ahead.
What he's not telling you is we didn't go to bed till like 3:30 in the morning.
So you slept for like 2 hours alone.
Exactly.
Well, that's not so bad. I mean, if I can go by myself in the Conjuring house and not get eaten by demons that I don't believe in.
Demons aren't real, but Matthew leaving me was very real, and the effects are going to be felt for decades.
Well,
You know what? I would never camp by myself like that because I'm too scared of aliens and I'm not doing it. So but I would go with you, and it's like we could go, like, if there was someone else, I would talk about it. But there's no way in hell.
So,
I mean,
there will be
Yeah.
Joey with 2 E's.
yeah, Joey with 2 E's will be there. But
Very
also, we're saying it's an inside joke.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
saying camping alone, but like I walk 150 yards and I'm at Dan's house. So there were like 5 people sleeping in Dan's house, and then another 75 yards from there is Dan's studio, where there were probably 4 other people sleeping. Like I wasn't really alone. I was just the only one who was out in the field, you know.
But would they be able to hear you scream in the night, in the dark?
Oh no, everybody was pretty messed up by that point. I feel like no one would have heard anything. I think
you know
Matthew
what?
and I
Like,
were the
if
only
you were-
ones that were sober.
You were sober? Okay, I was going to say, if I was drunk, then I would totally sleep alone in a field that was
Oh
70.
no. That's why I was sober. It's like I'm not going to be out here losing my mind in this field in the middle of the night at Dandyland of all fucking places and be all hopped up on alcohol and other assorted chemicals. I was not going to have
delicious.
any part of that, especially because I knew Matthew wasn't going to stick around and he was going to bail on me, and I would really be alone out there. And then what would I do? God,
You did not know that because I did not know that.
You would call an Uber. It's fine.
there's no Uber
You
in
know-
Somerset.
There
you
is
know
not.
what all 4 of us need to do? We should, if hopefully our business, we can start making profit, pay for everyone to camp at the UFO tower. That would be awesome.
Where's that at?
I think it's
Colorado.
in Colorado.
Oh my
This
God.
this lady, she has a campground there. She used to have a farm.
She still
I've heard of this place. Yeah.
Yeah, she but she built this tower, and now she has wicked UFO sightings in this area and has always had them. And now it's just becoming more and more popular.
It's one of the most popular UFO destinations now.
Well, that's just next door to me, so let's do it.
That's not fair.
Talking about staying out at night in a field. Now, where I lived in Nova Scotia, there's a place called the Barrens, which burnt out, and it's all blueberries and bears. I camped out there just after getting back from the military by myself. It's 1.5 miles back in the woods. And then you can walk for 4 days in any direction and not see anyone. So I get up in the middle of the night and there's a wolf sitting across from me. And the only thing keeping it from me is this little fire that I had built to keep me warm. And it just sat there and stared at me and then got up and walked away.
Yeah, that's...
If he comes again, I shot him 2 socks.
He just wanted some fire too. He was cold.
Yeah. But that was a moment in my life where I said, you can come kill me, but I wish you wouldn't.
But the thing is wolves were almost extinct there. I don't think that was actually a wolf.
Well, it was...
I think it was something more spirit than flesh.
Sitting down, it was 5 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a spirit wolf.
Oh, for sure. Or one of them Twilight wolves.
It was a dire wolf. It was Jacob.
Oh, no!
You know, speaking
based on a true story.
Speaking of dire wolves, they actually found skeletons of dire wolves in East Tennessee.
I saw that.
I cannot. We have to wait 2 years to go to Tennessee. I don't want to leave when we. I keep reading about East Tennessee, and it's like that place should be its own state. Like it is. There's something about East Tennessee.
We are our own state. We're the independent state of Scott.
Yeah.
Until recently, technically.
We never.
Was there a vote?
There was not. Not only was there not a vote, but we never declared peace with Germany. So,
still an independent state.
I'm just going to go to Dollywood if I go to Tennessee. Well, and I'll say hi to you, Matthew. But I mean, that's the only.
If you go to Dollywood, I am going to Dollywood with you.
I would love that. That is
wild.
Since I was 8 years old when I thought Dolly Parton was my grandmother. Like I really, in my mind, thought she was my grandmother when I was growing up because that's a whole other story. Yeah. But my bucket list has always been Dollywood and panning for gold in the Smoky Mountains, or something like that to that effect. It's going to happen.
Yes.
I could probably make that trip happen too.
Well, I have a feeling it's going to happen next year. I'm going to make it happen.
I have a quick question before 7, because we have to work tomorrow. I've been dying to ask you guys this. Would you rather stay in a haunted house or spend the night alone in a cornfield?
Cornfield, man. It's my natural habitat.
I live in a cornfield right now as we speak. Like there's corn all around my house. So, I'm already doing that. I would say haunted house for sure. That's my go-to anyway.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me qualify. When you say haunted house, are you talking like the Valeska murder house where there is a lot of bad energy, or is it just a place that is reported to be haunted where it's probably malevolent spirits?
I can make it even more interesting for you. Would you rather stay in the Bell Witch Cave or in a cornfield?
What's going on at the cornfield that you're trying to get me in? Is this Listens he
No.
walks behind the rose. Is there something you know? Are you trying to get me sacrificed to the corn god? Is that what I? Because you're awful interested in this cornfield. For some
Yeah,
reason.
what's going on?
She misses home.
Let me just say that
Yes.
I am not afraid of Kate Batts, and the reason I'm not afraid of Kate Batts is if I were to encounter Kate, I would treat her with respect, much unlike John Bell did.
I like that.
So
And
I wouldn't be afraid of the Bell Witch Cave.
I wouldn't either. I would go to the Bell Witch Cave too before a cornfield, because that's just, to me, it's not scary at all. It's just kind of like I'd be hungry and I would be bored. So, Witch Cave, please.
I would change my answer to Witch Cave.
Yeah, when you watch the documentaries about the Witch Cave, and there's a really good, I don't know how legit it is, it could be bullshit, but there's a supposed descendant of someone, maybe the guy who was cursed, who says his family's cursed.
The Bell descendant.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. And so they go through the cave. It seems like people who go to the Bell Witch Cave go there to cause mischief, so bad things
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
Right. A funny aside on that, in that show, I can't remember which episode it is, they actually get Sarah Pugh to come through there, and she's better known as Angel Lee. She's a friend of mine that is a medium, and she actually conversed with Betsy Bell and has a very good understanding of what actually happened.
Oh, what happened?
Interesting.
It's a good documentary. It's one of those, you don't know if they're making everything up, but it's interesting to watch.
I was just looking at the UFO tower thing. It's really, I was wanting to see where it is on the parallels, but interestingly, on the map, it's close to Navajo Nation.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
It's
And Apache Nation reservation as well.
yeah, that's all out there. And let's go to it. And then also, yes, add that to the list of Dollywood, the Bell Witch Cave. I'll be there. We'll do all of it at once. Sounds great.
I think the Bell Witch Cave is a park. I know the house you can't go to anymore. That's private property, I think.
Right.
But the cave is a park, I think.
The thing about how can I put this? The cave is fun to visit, but it's a tourist attraction.
Oh.
I
It's
guess
the
that's what
Conjuring house. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, don't even get me started about the Conjuring house.
Adam, we AJ and I want to go back with you, and we want to investigate the woods. We think that's real.
Actually, now that I think of it, I was so dumb. I didn't go to the cemetery because I didn't realize how far away it was from the house. But it's on the property, but it's like it's like at least a half an hour walk or so, and I had nothing with me, and I was just live streaming like an idiot. Like I was on the Blair Witch, like I was the Blair Witch movie, and I was gonna get killed, and I could hear things in the woods that were like animals, like that were gonna eat me animals. So I would love to go back and do that. That scared me more than the house.
I don't think the fairies and the land spirits would hurt you though, because you're respectful.
I try to always be with that stuff. Yeah. I mean, there was some residual. I mean, there was definitely something going on. I did catch some kind of weird EVPs of voices of people that weren't, and I realized there was 10 of us in the house or around it, but I was able to weed out the stuff that was them or not. And there was definitely something there that was haunting the home, but it is not,
was anything actively answering questions that you, I forget whether or not that happened. Did they answer any questions directly to what you were asking?
When I was doing the Estes method, I was hearing all sorts of things that were leading me to believe that it was like, we're talking like soldiers out on the property kind of thing, like behind the house,
Okay.
which I didn't know all the history, Revolutionary War kind of stuff. And so that's what I got from it. But I never got that like the devil was going to get me in the house. I did think there were some energies that were like more negative, but it's nothing I haven't dealt with before. But it was just, I was letting it get to me when I was doing it by myself and live streaming, because you see the stupid movie, which it's a stupid movie. It is. It's not, it's ridiculous. It's Hollywood. But then I let it kind of get the best of me at a certain point in that investigation. And then I just said I was an idiot to myself and I got over it. But there's definitely something there. I think it was attached to the family when all that happened in the 70s, and it kind of went with them or whatever, if it happened at all. I mean, I don't know. It's Ed and Lorraine Warren, so.
I think it did, because I'm doing some research to talk to someone about mini black holes and like time, and is paranormal just us peeking through the veil? Because some of the stuff that the daughter said, I'm seeing little stories here in Canada. Like there's one story where she said her mom was really thin at this point, and she sat her mom down and it was like, let me go heat you up some mac and cheese. And her mom's like, okay. So the Conjuring house, it's open. So like they have a dining area and then you can see into another dining area. And the mom was sitting there and saw a family in period clothing. And the two men turned around and was like, do you see that? And here in Canada, we have stories of people who are like going to the bathroom at night. They see a ghost, and a ghost is looking at them like, who the fuck are you? Like they're both looking at each other like they're ghosts.
Oh, I've always thought that. I've always said, even like when I first started investigating in like 2000 or 99 or whatever, I always said, like, what if we're the ghost? And you know what I mean? Because there's been times when I've been to places and we've seen things and they've been intelligent enough to look at us and look like they were startled at seeing us, like they were seeing us. And it really makes me wonder what we're seeing really. And so I think that's really interesting. And
Adam, have you seen the others?
Yeah, I know exactly.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Nicole Kidman would agree.
Yeah, the others like shook my ass like when I saw that movie.
That movie's so good.
It was so good, and I was maybe 19 or 18 years old when it came out. I was younger, and it made me like, I had to sit and think it made me think for weeks and weeks, because I'm like, that's like when the seance happens, that's kind of what I think has happened and I always ask that to people when I'm in an investigation with them. I'm like, do you think that we're the ghosts and we're being investigated? I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It's too much for my little brain. I don't know.
If you think they're in physics, it's not proven yet, but it's heavily theorized that there's a multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And each one is slightly different than ours. Some will be exactly the same, others will be completely different. But if you're looking from this universe into one that's similar enough that you can...
Ethan said if our matters touched, it would be very obvious. It'd be
obvious.
Fringe style stuff.
But think of it. If that is the result of a touch, the seeing between.
Maybe. I think
Yeah.
it's mini black holes.
It could be mini black holes.
That's my idea.
I like a mini black hole. That's fine.
Apparently, mini black holes go through the world
Yeah.
and us all the time.
Just to give you nightmare fuel, Adam, mini black holes apparently pass through Earth and our bodies all the time and we can't see it.
Nice. But, you know, there's been so many stories over the years that I've, you know, firsthand talked to people who have like driven through a town or whatever, and they encounter a group of people or like a scene or a gas station or a place and talk to the people, been around them, come back through and it's abandoned or it was never open. Or, you know, they witnessed something that should not have been there and it was gone when they came back. I've had it happen to me here in Utah in a place that I can't explain, where I've seen a restaurant full of people and I made a note to myself to go back and eat there. And it's just here up the canyon from my house. And then I came back maybe a month or two later and it was abandoned and it hadn't been open for years.
I have a very similar story to that. My friends and I were going down to the Shawnee Forest. This is actually the same trip that I end up encountering the house from my dream that sparked this whole documentary. But on our way down, we all had to pee really bad. And so there's nowhere like restrooms, like there's no gas stations. Like we'd been peeing in the woods for, you know, a few hours. But we're on the road, we're on a highway, so like we're not going to stop and pee on the side of this highway. But there's this little like restaurant, and we park the car. We go inside, and although there's only like maybe 7 or 8 cars in the parking lot, this restaurant is full of old people. And they all looked at us almost in unison, like we had busted through the door with shotguns and were screaming. Like, so we go to the bathroom and we bail as quick as we can because it was such a weird thing. And yeah, it was probably 6 months later I went down there and it looked like the place hadn't been open in decades. And it still looks that way.
Jeez.
I think you've told me that story before. That's crazy.
That's
but I believe it.
What movie?
We've watched so many
movies.
movies recently, I couldn't tell you.
Legend.
Which
Not Legend.
No. The zombie movie?
No.
Oh. Or no, Legend is not the zombie movie. That's the Tim Curry demon movie.
Not Legend.
He was a hot Satan in that one.
Oh, yes, he was.
Sorry, it made me feel a type of way as a kid. Sorry about it. Okay, I'll let you continue.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where's that Pan? Can we get him to come give me a visit? In
Mhm.
the woods?
You
I
don't
just
want to
wanna-
meet Pan.
I don't want to meet Pan? Okay, fine.
Ouch.
And if you're offered food from a stranger in the woods, don't eat it.
Always eat it.
I eat everything though. That's terrible. What am I gonna do? And I'm
Eat it.
Polynesian, so it's a very big sign of like disrespect if you don't eat food someone gives you. Like it's so rude.
Always
In-
eat it.
In the woods, it could be fairy food, and then you'll be lost in fairyland forever.
Can you think of a reason why that's not better than the shit show that we're
I
walking
was
through
just
every
gonna
day
say
right
that. I
now?
was like, is that a
Very true.
Very
I'll
true.
have some fairy food. That sounds fine. Cause I'm good with this area. Okay, I'll remember that, you guys. I'll let you know if I see anything.
Go ahead. You have a question?
What is one weird encounter you've had in the last month?
Oh,
Oh, I had one just this week.
oh.
There you go.
But it's like I'll let the other guys go first because I've been talking too much. Matthew,
No.
what's happened? Tell us.
Did you say in the last week or the last month?
Last month.
Goblin Market was in the last month, wasn't it?
Yeah. Close
Um,
enough.
I I saw Dan Dutton's foot turn into a cloven hoof,
Yeah.
and
Whoa.
I also manifested a painting.
True.
But it was like 3 o'clock. Dan was playing. Everybody was out on the porch, and I was watching Dan play. And he had his foot crooked in such a way that it looked like, as he was moving his foot, that his foot was shifting between a normal foot and a cloven hoof.
Is that the video that you posted, Jason, of him doing the music?
No.
Or was it
I
at
mean,
that time?
same time. I was outside talking with Nathan, and Matthew had sort of been in this transition for a few minutes, and I had noticed that he was brazenly staring at Dan, but I didn't know why at the time. And then in a break of conversation on the porch of Dan's place, Matthew says, "Hey, Jason, Dan's foot just turned into a cloven hoof."
Oh.
And yeah, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I looked at him and I said, in my head, I'm thinking that seems about right. I don't remember what my external reaction was, but it was like I had already had sort of this fulfilling answer, or like cosmic answer, that I had been waiting on for a long time that night. And cloven hoofs were just, that's just a little extra for me at that point. I was
on your cake.
Yeah, I was coming to grips with, I don't know, a weird sense of reality and closure in a lot of different ways that I don't think I conveyed externally. Matthew, I don't know what you thought was going on, like with me.
There was a lot of love that night.
Oh man.
Are you saying it was an orgy, or was it?
No.
Because I'm into it. I need to come to these things.
This camping thing is off.
No, Listen, I can look, but I don't touch. I'm not crazy. I mean,
especially if Joey's there.
Joey with 2 E's. That was my weird encounter. I think Joey might be not human.
Okay.
I got to get out to these places.
This Joey guy comes up to Matthew and I. We were standing outside. He's a musician. He was playing a theremin. I mean, for one, who does that?
A witch would play one of those, and I'm into it, and I love it. So that's already awesome. Continue.
But we're standing outside. He approaches us, and I don't even remember what we were talking about. It's lost because this was such a weird little thing. And he's like, "Are you guys a paranormal guys?" And I looked at Matthew, and he kind of looked at me, and I'm just like, I mean, I don't know which guys you're thinking of, but we're pretty weird.
I told him you were Zach Bagans.
And anyway, like he's like, I got a ghost story. And Matthew and I could not have been less interested in what this strange man had to say to us, but we feigned that interest very well. And he proceeds to tell us about this nun or something. I've got to be honest, I was just staring at his mouth the entire time. But he introduced himself to us as Joey, and we're like, nice to meet you, Joey, or whatever. And he's like, that's 2 E's. And I'm looking at the word Joey appear above his head, like spelled out, and I'm like, where the fuck is this extra E? Is it Joee? And I'm like, is that a nickname or your given name? And he goes, a bit of both. And I'm like, the fuck does that mean? Like, what in the world do I like? But anyway, he explains his middle initial was E, right, Matthew?
I assume.
And like it was like Joseph Edmund, blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't remember. And to be honest, I hope I don't ever have to know. But so his dad was also Joe, so it was Joe E, or something. I don't know, man. It was such a weird little thing that happened. And then like he just went somewhere. But then he was there all night. And after Matthew abandoned me in the pasture of Dandyland in the middle of the night, I get up expecting to be greeted by Matthew's smiling face, warm personality, maybe even a hug. I don't know. Could be too much to ask. Maybe not. But Matthew's gone. And I hear someone talking over in the distance. And I'm like, well, at least somebody else is awake. And I waltz my happy fat ass out of my tent over to the sound of people. And it's fucking Joey sitting on a picnic table. And Joey was blitzed not 4 hours ago. And there he is. He gives me a big old smile and a big old wave. And he says, good morning to you. And I waved and I said, good morning. And I walked right past him and pretended he didn't exist for the rest of the time that I was there. And I went inside and ate one of Dan's biscuits that he had made. And they were delicious. And then I went home.
So therefore he's not human? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it was just such a weird encounter with a person. Like I've never, not in a very long time have I encountered a person quite like that. It was just, it had a strange tone. No.
You need to come out to Utah.
Dandyland is a liminal space.
Dandyland is a very liminal space.
And I really think, because like with me, I think the energies, the gods, whatever they do stuff like that just to unsettle you so you don't get in routine.
It was unsettling. What were your thoughts on Joey, Matthew? I'd like to know what you, because we never really talked about, we joked a little bit, but we never really talked about him.
Interestingly enough, and it's really not my story to tell, so I'm not going to tell the whole thing. But when I went to go pick up my painting, I had an audience with Dan, just me and him, for about 2.5 hours. And I would have stayed longer if I was able to. But he was telling me a story about he has this rare apple tree or cherry tree, because of course he does, that you can only find in 2 places in the United States, because of course he does.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this conversation, these phone conversations he was having with this woman who wanted one of the tree saplings. And so he has them come over to help him get this sapling. And he was convinced that they were goblins. And from everything, you'll have to have him tell the story, because from everything that happened between them in that encounter, I fully believe it as well.
So, do you think Joey was a goblin too?
Joey was something.
Joey wasn't. He was something.
What was your story, Adam?
Oh, it's kind of dumb, but
Say it.
Yeah.
well, you guys already know, like I got some bad news this week about my health, and the day that I got the news, I woke up the day before, and it was 4:00 in the morning, and my dad has been passed for 11 years now, but he only comes and shows himself to me when something really horrible is about to happen. It's kind of crazy. And I mean, I don't know what y'all believe in that kind of stuff, but for me, I mean, I've seen him. He's come to me since he's died about 3 times, and I haven't seen him in years. And this one morning at 4, I'm in the bed just trying to sleep, and I feel someone sitting on my feet, and it's him, and he's at the foot of my bed, and my husband's next to me. And right as I saw him, I knew that something really bad was going to happen. And then my brother is calling me on the phone as this is happening from his house. And it's 4:00 in the morning. And that's when he said he was seeing balls of light floating around his house. And that's the video I just posted on my YouTube channel of his security camera footage of what looks like a UFO floating around his driveway.
Oh,
and I know that people think that it's like, it could be a spider web. It could, like, I get it. I've done this for years. I know how to debunk shit. But it was not that, because my mom, who doesn't lie about that kind of stuff, she was in the background really upset because these balls of light were in her bedroom window and it was going around the house. They were seeing it with their eyes. But this is all while like my dad is sitting at the foot of my bed. And then the next day I got, that news about, that I won't get into, that about some health issues I have. And now I'm like reevaluating my entire life. So yeah, it's been an eventful week. It's been weird. And
This week has been something.
there is something to, I was telling my friend, every year in October, around the 4th of October, it's always around the 4th or the 5th of October, I have something paranormal happen in my house, no matter where I've lived in my life. I do not know what the correlation is, but it's happened for decades. And so this was on the 4th of October.
It could be an egregore. We learned that by watching a kindred spirit thing, and like people say, like on April 2nd we were pushed out of our home, and now every April 2nd we have curses. You can actually create egregores that can create negativity on a certain date.
Or positivity.
Yeah, and it's never been anything necessarily negative. It's usually the fire alarms will be going off and the house will fill. I can't imagine that is kind of negative. The house will fill with smoke, but there's no fire and there's no smoke there's no source.
That's scary.
But this night, it was my visit from my dad, who I haven't had him visit me since right after he died. So I knew something was going to happen. And then it's just crazy that at the same time, my brother is also having these balls of light 30 miles away from me in his house, going crazy, and he's calling me panicking at the exact moment. So, but I also have told people there's something about the month of October, and I don't know if it's because it's the month I'm born in, but I always have been a little sensitive to things. People say I'm psychic or a medium. I don't say that necessarily. But for whatever reason, in the month of October up until Halloween, I'm always able, like whatever it is that I can sense, it's like 10 times as like strong during this month. And it's like whatever the little veil between whatever's going on, it's like so thin for me in October. And it always starts on the 4th.
It's the thinning of the veil. You said it yourself.
Which is interesting because last year when I was doing research, there's nothing scientifically going on our planet like the equinox to say why weird stuff happens in October, but weird stuff happens in October. The only thing I could really say is the myth for people of Celtic faith, the god dies or the god goes to the underworld and takes the sun or is collecting the sun
and to come back for spring.
Yeah, and darkness envelops, but it's not like the equinox.
Have you considered, I submit for the approval of the Midnight Society, that there exists a set of rules for this time of year egregorically, as in we have created a mythos that is now real because of generations and centuries of stories about this being the time of the year when the veil is thin, that now it is because we keep perpetuating the story.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that could be it.
It's a dream of 1,000 cats.
The dream of 1,000 cats.
But it's like, it's for me, I would have thought it would be closer to Halloween, but it's always the beginning of the month. I start having things happen, like the house will start going crazy and Barney will see it. That's not like just in my mind or anything. Like stuff paranormal just goes off the charts this month, and I'm expecting more stuff to happen because it just does.
Lightheartedly, Adam,
Okay.
Adam, the first time that we spoke for the first Hair Raising Horror Week when I interviewed you for my show, the first time we ever conversed, that day or the day before, you had paintings fly off of your wall, and it was October 4th or October 5th.
Oh yeah, it was.
And you said then, every year on October
Oh, I did
4th or
tell you
5th,
this.
that something like this happens. He's
Oh,
like,
that's
I'm used to it by
crazy.
now.
I don't even remember telling you that happened because I didn't know you. I can't believe I just told you that.
I remembered it, but I thought you were full of shit.
Well, so
You
did
know.
well, so do I sometimes because, but no, it
No,
happened again.
like
It happened
people,
again.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was this week, and it happened just like clockwork. Except for this time, it was like times 10 the normal with the lights and my dad,
Oh yeah, it's bizarre.
and then just like the horrible news I got, and and there's this has been going on since I was maybe 10 years old, if I can remember. Like my dad was a big deer hunter, and we would go into the woods every October for the deer hunt, and I hated it because I didn't ever want to kill this deer. I would like sit and cry in the forest, and I got lost a few times. That's why I feel like I was abducted by aliens back then, because I'm like terrified of the forest out here.
Sounds more like you were abducted by fairies.
Or something happened because those feelings started coming after going to the forest those years when I was like 10 or so.
I wonder if your fate touched, Adam.
I don't know. Does it make me thinner? Because I'll take that. It's like, but no, I have this thing, and it's every October, and it's at the same time of year. But I get this horrible. It's like a melancholy, sad, sort of depressed feeling, but it's also like very beautiful, and I love it. Like I can't explain it. Like it's the weirdest. I feel the weirdest it's not even a thing I can put into words, but it always starts at the beginning of this month. And it goes through Halloween.
Do you like the melancholy is almost like you're missing something? Like,
oh yeah, definitely. Like I should be somewhere else, or that I'm not
Adam,
where I'm supposed to be.
I think you were abducted by fairies because what you're describing is almost word for word what some kids that were supposedly abducted by fairies have said. And some
really?
some kids had super melancholy and like actually needed they didn't have therapy back in the day, but they had to help the kids get over their melancholy. Like they say, once you go to fairyland, you long and you ache for it. So, Joshua Cutchin? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He made an argument that fairies and aliens are actually the same thing. And what you're describing is a classic fairy abduction.
That's weird because the first year we went deer hunting, it was in the woods.
Typically.
Just on yes, but thank you. But it was just on the other side of Skinwalker Ranch, actually. That's what I'm trying to get at. I didn't know about Skinwalker Ranch until I was late into my 20s. But it turns out this whole time I've been deer hunting on the borders of Skinwalker Ranch, and I didn't realize it because it's just up this canyon from where I live now. And every day the past week, I've been sitting out looking at the mountain behind my house, and I'm just like, I need to get up there. Like every year, it's the same thing. Like I need to go to the woods, and I hate going to the woods. I'm not an outdoors kind of guy. I don't know if you know this. I don't.
You're an inside cat.
I don't deal well with the elements. But for some reason, like I'm gonna go tomorrow up this canyon to the woods because the colors are beautiful. But also, it's like I have to do it, and it's always this time of year. Never any
Take some
other
offerings
time.
with you. Take some offerings with you.
Definitely.
Which I've never done before, and I just realized I should have been doing that. So, yeah, I will.
Take some bread. Take a bottle of wine. Sit down. Have a glass of wine. Leave a glass of wine. Come back and get the glass later.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna try that. I'll try that this weekend because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go up there. But it's a feeling I can't explain, and it's only happens it's just this month of the year, and it goes away with Halloween. And I can't explain it. I've never been able to, and I've always attributed it to being abducted by aliens because I feel like something happened. Because what I was saying is the first year this happened when I was like 10, I was lost in those woods for the entire day. Like my dad lost me, and like it was a whole ordeal, and I lost like all the time that I was there. Like I don't know what happened. I don't remember, but I
That's
like
typical
blocked it all
Faye.
out.
Oh yeah, you were so Faye touched.
Well, I don't know if that's good or bad, but we'll see.
It's
If
terrible.
you're not a Christian, it's not a bad thing.
Well, I'm certainly not a Christian.
It means that if you chose to go towards learning magic, you'd probably do quite well at it.
I would love to. That's what I'm saying. I need to come out, and I'm one of those kind of hands-on kind of people. Like I love hearing your stories, but for me, I need to go experience these things you're talking about with my eyes and touch it and see it. And so I think that'll be a good thing.
You definitely need to go to Kentucky then.
Kentucky, yes.
Adam, I just wanted to say real quick, with what you're going through, I want you, when you're having doubts and such, to listen to what you're saying, because listening to you were explaining everything that was going on. And I don't think you realize it. Like you were talking, you said the words, thinning of the veil. You talk about expecting this. You're giving yourself the answers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you realize that you have the answers, but you're telling us the answers.
My therapist said that exact thing to me last year.
Well, he accepts checks and money orders.
I'll pay you. You're definitely more fun to talk to than my therapist was. I can understand what you're saying now. And I'm really good at like talking very matter-of-factly about dramatic things in my life. It's just a coping mechanism. But yeah, I guess I should do that.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I would just sit here and smile when Adam was talking about several different things over the course of this entire evening. It's because I was noticing things too that, yeah, you have so much self-doubt just from, I'm sure just from life experience and things that you've gone through that you seem to not like trust what your thoughts are. Like it can't be that. Like it can't be that. So like you automatically write it off. Like Matthew's saying though, you carry with you a lot of wisdom that you refuse to believe or that you don't recognize because you refuse to believe the thought that you could have answers to things you didn't even know that you questioned. You should really listen to your inner monologue a lot closer. Take notes.
That's very sweet of you to say. Thank you. That's the nicest, Jason. I didn't even know you had it in you.
Bullshit.
I thought you were just the meanest, but now I think you're great. No, I appreciate that. And it is something I've worked on my whole life. It's always been a problem. You should have met me when I was in my early 20s. You want to talk about a head case? Woo! I
think that's all of us, though.
Yeah, I'm just barely at that point in my life where I'm kind of finally listening to myself. It just took 40 years. That's all.
40 is like 20, you're a mess. 30, you figure out things and you get your head on straight. And then 40, you're finally like, you're settled enough and know how to live.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yes.
Adam, a wizard arrives promptly when he means to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that.
A wizard is never late, is my point.
That's true. And when I'm late to like Christmas parties and stuff, it doesn't start till I get there. I'm just letting you know.
No, we know.
It's a thing. The shit starts when I arrive. Let's go. I'll meet you all at Dollywood this weekend. Don't flake out.
Oh God, I wish.
I don't have time to do anything right now.
I don't either. I'm so freaking. And I got to get you a video, Jason. It's going to happen tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to stay up and do it. You'll have it by this weekend.
Take your time. You have until the 22nd.
Okay, I'll see you on the 21st.
I know. I will expect that on the 22nd.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this weekend. This week kind of just got away.
Yeah.
But your heads keep disappearing, and it's really freaking me out, you guys. Like, what is happening?
And they switch sides, which
I know
which is what was distracting me.
I'm sorry, we had to look after our baby cat.
I was really intently listening to Sarah, and then her head just disappeared a few times, and I was just like, "Girl, your head is gone. Like your body, like I can see your torso. There's no head anymore."
Phasing in and out like recluse.
You might want to get that looked at. Oh, Zoom. Silly Zoom.
Oh. Is there anything else anyone wanted to discuss?
Just that I think
covered
you guys
quite a
are
bit.
great. We got a lot of good stuff, and I just think you all are very just delightful people. I very much enjoy talking to all of you, whether it's via memes on Facebook or whatnot.
I think
Agreed.
this was the pick me up we all needed this week.
Yeah. We want to thank all of our guests tonight for coming on with us, seeing as it was a rough go to get us all together to make this happen. All the guys here are great people, artists in their own right, and deserve recognition. Please check out their content either through our website, mystercreations.com, YouTube, or whatever platforms they're available on. We'll put links to their shows and content in our notes.